You think airports are just about flights and waiting in lines? Think again. Every step you take, from checking in to boarding, is designed to drain your time, squeeze your money, and control your choices. Hidden fees, sneaky rules, and silent tricks can cost you hundreds without you even noticing. Once you see how this system really works, you'll never travel the same way again. Secret 1. The seat trick most passengers miss. Your seat might look like a small detail, just a number on a boarding pass, but in reality, it can completely change how your entire flight feels. Some seats offer more space, more comfort, and a much smoother experience. Yet airlines quietly charge extra for them, even though the plane is already flying the same distance and using the same fuel. Most travelers never notice this because they think seats are assigned randomly or first come, first served, but that isn't how it works. Here's the hidden part. Those premium seats, especially emergency exit rows or bulkhead rows, are often reserved for passengers who seem calm, cooperative, and reliable. They're not necessarily the ones who pay more or the ones who arrive first. Airlines and flight crews prefer passengers who make their job easier. If you are loud, stressed, or argumentative, you might be overlooked, even if the seat is technically available. So how can you use this to your advantage? Start with your attitude. Friendly, relaxed, and polite passengers often get noticed in a positive way. A simple smile, a little humor, or even a confident tone when checking in can signal to the staff that you are responsible. Sometimes that's all it takes to get a seat upgrade without paying extra. If that doesn't work immediately, there's another subtle strategy. Position yourself near the desirable rows. Flight attendants often look for replacements if the assigned passenger isn't fit or willing to sit in the exit row. Being nearby increases your chances of being chosen. It may sound like luck, but it's really about awareness and timing. Knowing which seats offer the best comfort, how airlines assign them, and how crew behavior works allows you to navigate the system strategically. Once you start seeing the seat map this way, every flight becomes less about randomness and more about opportunity. Secret 2. How security really decides who gets stopped. At airport security, most passengers think the process is straightforward. Show your ID, place your bag on the belt, walk through the scanner, and move on. But the reality is far more complex. While everyone focuses on laptops, liquids, and shoes, TSA officers are quietly watching something else. You. Not your bag, not your ID, but your behavior. Every small gesture, every nervous tick, even the way you walk can influence whether you're flagged for additional screening. For years, TSA relied on behavioral observation programs, training officers to read stress signals like facial expressions, hand movements, or posture. In theory, it's a psychological science designed to identify suspicious passengers. In practice, it's far from perfect. Studies repeatedly show that these methods cannot reliably identify threats, yet the practice continues. Officers aren't malicious, but their job requires quick decisions in crowded environments, and small cues often stand out more than we realize. Here's the trick. Trying too hard to appear calm or innocent can backfire. Passengers who overthink every move, glance repeatedly around the checkpoint, or consciously attempt to mask anxiety often draw more attention than those who act naturally. Blending in is far more effective than performing. Relaxed body language, steady breathing, and polite, simple responses to any questions can dramatically reduce your chances of being singled out. Even small actions matter. Standing with confident posture, keeping your bag under control, and moving at a normal pace signals that you are an experienced and organized traveler. Officers naturally gravitate toward unusual patterns, and appearing composed essentially makes you invisible in the crowd. This isn't about manipulating anyone, it's about understanding how the system works and moving through it strategically. Once you recognize these behavioral cues and practice subtle awareness, you take control. Security becomes less of a stress point and more of a predictable step, letting you pass efficiently without unnecessary delays or scrutiny. Because in modern airports, the less attention you draw to yourself, the smoother your journey will be. Awareness and calmness are your real security passes. Secret 3. The gate agents who spot your bag before you board. Most travelers assume the real inspection happens when boarding begins, but in reality, gate agents are already at work long before the first passenger steps onto the jet bridge. While they may appear to be typing away on their computers or checking boarding passes, their eyes are constantly scanning the waiting area. Not for friendly faces or ticket errors, but for bags that look too full, too bulky, or just slightly out of compliance. This silent observation allows them to flag potential issues before boarding starts, saving time and preventing chaos during the process. What most passengers don't realize is that once a bag is mentally marked, the agent has already decided who may need to check it. When you finally step forward, it may seem sudden, a polite, "You'll need to check that." But the decision was made minutes ago. It's not personal and it's not random. It's efficiency in action, designed to keep boarding fast and predictable. The key to navigating this invisible system is subtlety. Bags should be held close to your body or kept under your arm while waiting. Carry-ons that are soft-sided, dark-colored, or neutral in design tend to blend in, avoiding unnecessary attention. Bright, patterned, or rigid suitcases naturally draw the eye and may increase the likelihood of a stop. It's also important to stay calm and composed while waiting. Agents notice tension and hurried movements, so the less noticeable you are, the less likely your bag will be flagged. Acting confident and prepared signals that you are an organized traveler who won't slow down the boarding line. This secret isn't about breaking rules or hiding items. It's about understanding the behavior of gate staff and how your presence and luggage appear in their observations. Once you grasp this, you start moving through airports more strategically, avoiding unnecessary fees, delays, and confrontations. Because in the terminal, the moment you think you're just waiting, you're actually being assessed. Awareness and discretion are your silent advantages.
Secret 4. Why bag rules suddenly hit hard at the gate. By the time you reach the gate, most travelers think the hardest part of the journey is over. Your ticket is scanned, your seat is confirmed, and your carry-on made it through security. But this is where airline rules often feel stricter than ever. Suddenly, a bag that seemed fine moments ago is labeled oversized, and the agent insists it must be checked. What most passengers don't realize is that gate agents aren't just enforcing rules for safety. They're following procedures designed to keep flights on schedule. Boarding is a carefully timed process. Every second counts, and catching potential issues early helps avoid delays once passengers are already on the plane. It's about control and efficiency, not personal vendettas. Some airlines even incentivize strict enforcement. For certain budget carriers, agents can earn small bonuses for flagging oversized or extra items. It might sound minor, but when dozens of passengers are boarding, those extra dollars can subtly influence how closely rules are applied. That's why sometimes a perfectly fitting bag can still trigger a stop. It's part of the system. To avoid this, bag choice and behavior at the gate are critical. Soft-sided, dark-colored carry-ons look smaller and draw less attention than bright, patterned, or rigid suitcases. Holding your bag close to your body rather than displaying it prominently in front of the desk also reduces scrutiny. A calm, confident attitude goes a long way, signaling to agents that you're an experienced, organized traveler who won't slow the line. Understanding this system is empowering. It shows that the strictness isn't arbitrary, it's predictable, and with awareness, you can navigate it. A compact bag, subtle positioning, and relaxed posture can save you from unnecessary fees and stress. Because at the gate, even small decisions about how you carry your bag and how you present yourself can make the difference between a smooth boarding experience and an unexpected penalty. Knowledge of these invisible rules is your key to moving through airports strategically and efficiently.
Secret 5. The voluntary bag check trap. Many travelers fall into the same subtle trap without realizing it. Standing by the gate, it seems harmless to slide your bag into the sizing box just to see if it fits. You're curious, cautious, or just trying to avoid trouble later. But that small action can have bigger consequences than you think. The moment you voluntarily put your bag into the sizing box, you hand control to the airline. Even if your bag is only slightly over the limit, The agent now has the authority to insist it be checked. The fee can range anywhere from $60 to $100, and arguing rarely works at this stage. You didn't get caught, you walked right into the trap. This isn't about breaking rules or sneaking around. It's about understanding how the system is designed to catch small mistakes and turn them into revenue. Airlines know that once a passenger submits to the sizing box, the rules are effectively locked in. They also know most people won't risk missing their flight over a minor dispute. That predictability is what makes the trap so effective. The smarter approach is to avoid testing your bag publicly unless required. Keep it behind you, under your arm, or in a discreet corner if you must measure it. This allows you to adjust contents, redistribute weight, or remove unnecessary items without anyone observing. Some experienced travelers even use clothing or jackets with hidden pockets to store small items, like chargers, shoes, or electronics. It's not trickery, it's preparation. Being aware of this trap can save you hundreds of dollars over time and prevent unnecessary stress at the gate. Once you realize that volunteering your bag is a signal for enforcement, you stop playing into the system. Because in modern air travel, the moment you voluntarily engage with the sizing system, you've essentially signed a contract that favors the airline. Knowledge and discretion are your best defenses against this subtle but costly trap. Secret 6. Why airlines lie about flight delays. If you've ever watched your flight delays stretch from 30 minutes to an hour and then to 2 hours, you may have wondered why airlines don't just tell the truth from the start. It feels frustrating and confusing, but the strategy behind it is deliberate. Small, incremental delay announcements are designed to keep passengers seated and calm. If a 3-hour delay were announced up front, many passengers would rush to customer service counters, demand refunds, or try to rebook flights, creating chaos and confusion. Airlines have learned that the gradual approach minimizes disruption. By rolling out delays in short increments, 15, 30, or 45 minutes at a time, passengers remain relatively patient. Most stay near the gate, continue waiting, and accept the situation as it unfolds. It's a psychological game. Controlling expectations keeps people compliant. The trick for travelers is to take control yourself. Don't rely solely on announcements. Flight tracking apps like Flight Radar 24 or Flight Aware allow you to see exactly where your aircraft is and whether the reported delay reflects reality. Often, the plane is still on the ground or en route from another city, meaning the announced delay may be more about managing passenger behavior than actual timing. Understanding this system gives you freedom. Instead of sitting frozen waiting for the next update, you can eat, shop, relax in a lounge, or even handle other travel tasks with confidence. You're no longer at the mercy of vague gate announcements. The psychological insight here is key. Airlines manage delays not just for operational efficiency, but also to maintain control over passenger behavior. By recognizing this, you can separate perception from reality, make informed decisions, and avoid unnecessary stress. Because in the airport game, knowledge of what's real and what's strategic turns a frustrating delay into a manageable situation. Once you see through the tactics, you stop being a passive target and start navigating the terminal with awareness and confidence. Secret 7. How airlines cancel your seat before you even miss your flight. Imagine this. You're sprinting through the airport, heart racing, barely making it to your connecting flight. You reach the gate, the plane is still there, the door is open, and you finally think you're safe. Then you hear it. Sorry, your seat has been given away. You didn't miss the flight, yet suddenly you're offloaded, rebooked, and often left with extra fees. What most passengers don't know is that some airlines use predictive software to manage connections. Programs analyze flight schedules, passenger locations, and average walking times to determine who might miss a connection, and they automatically cancel seats before the passenger even arrives. On paper, it's meant to optimize efficiency and ensure planes leave on time. In practice, it can leave perfectly on-time passengers stranded. Not every airline handles it the same way. Some carriers hold flights for a few extra minutes, allowing passengers to make connections, while others rely entirely on algorithms. This highlights that technology can be used to help passengers, not just enforce strict rules. The key is awareness. If you ever find yourself removed from a flight, ask if it was a predictive cancellation. Knowing the term involuntary denial of boarding is critical. It's not just jargon, it's your legal shield for requesting compensation, hotel accommodations, meal vouchers, or even cash reimbursement. Airlines often hope passengers accept the situation quietly, but understanding your rights changes the equation. Travelers who grasp this system approach connections differently. They move efficiently, track their flights, and even anticipate potential software-based cancellations. They no longer rely on luck, they operate with strategy and timing. Because in today's data-driven airports, showing up on time isn't enough. To avoid being caught in invisible software rules, you need to understand how the system works, be proactive, and assert your rights when necessary. Awareness, timing, and informed action turn you from a passenger at the mercy of technology into someone who navigates the airport with confidence and control. Secret 8. The hidden flight credit trap. When a flight is canceled, it often feels like chaos. Long lines form at the counter, phones are ringing non-stop, passengers argue, and everyone is just trying to get home. But behind the noise, airlines often run a quiet system that looks generous on the surface, yet can quietly cost you money. Many airlines automatically offer travel credits instead of cash refunds. At first glance, it seems fair. You still have the money you spent, just in a different form. But these credits usually come with strict conditions. Expiration dates can be as short as 12 months, and they often cannot be transferred, split, or combined. Some airlines even reset the clock when you make a new booking, meaning the original credit could expire sooner than you expect. It gets trickier. Service fees can be deducted when redeeming the credit, effectively making you pay part of your own money again. Travelers who assume patience will solve the problem often end up losing the full value of the original ticket without realizing it. The system is designed to keep your funds inside the airline's books rather than returning them to your pocket. The smart move is simple. Don't automatically accept credits. Under U.S. Department of Transportation rules, passengers are entitled to a cash refund for any canceled or significantly delayed flight. Asking for it and insisting firmly can prevent the loss of your money. Understanding this trap ensures you remain in control, rather than handing over your funds without necessity.
This secret isn't about being confrontational, it's about awareness. Many travelers unknowingly accept the convenience of credits, thinking it's easier than waiting or arguing. But the cost can be far higher in the long run. Being informed allows you to navigate cancellation strategically, safeguarding your hard-earned money.
Because in modern air travel, airlines often present convenience as generosity. Recognizing the hidden flight credit trap ensures that helpful solutions don't end up costing you more than the original flight, keeping control firmly in your hands.